Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com, and today we're going to do another live paper crafting class here on Facebook on my Stamp Your Art Out with Rachel Facebook page. Let's just put that up there so you know where you're at. I hope you're all having a great Wednesday so far. It is April 15th, 2020, which means Tax Day, right? So I think they extended that though, didn't they, with all of the stuff going on? At least I heard that. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, on my computer calendar it said Tax Day, so I thought I would just say Happy Tax Day to everybody. Okay, next week, Wednesday, by the way, is another special day. What was it? Wednesday next week is Earth Day. So we're just going to have a couple holidays in a row here. But also next Wednesday, the retiring list of products is going to go live for all of us to see. So I will be sharing that, not during this class because I won't get it until later on in the afternoon. I think they're posting it at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. So you'll want to just make sure that you are subscribed to my blog at stampyourartout.com. And then also there's a little subscribe area there. You'll want to subscribe to my newsletter. Make sure that you're tuned in to my Facebook page that I already mentioned. So lots of things going on. I hope you all had a happy weekend last weekend. Happy Easter. Some of you have been asking how my boys are doing. They are doing great. This distant learning is comfortable for them now, so they're having fun with it. The thing is, though, that they're usually doing that while I am doing my live. So some of you have been asking, where is Nick? Because he's been on a couple lives recently. Well, he's busy studying, so maybe we can, if he gets done early someday, we can have him come back in here, or maybe Luke would want to too. So anyways, thanks for asking about them. They're doing great. We're all doing well here despite everything, right? So well wishes to all of you. We are going to do another live class right now, and keep in mind that if you are commenting, I didn't even click on my comments. I don't even know if anyone's with me. I'm just talking away. Who knows if I'm really on my page or not? Oh, good. We have people with me. Oh, and there's my cousin Kelly. Hi, Kelly. So yes, I'm glad that you're with me because it makes it more fun. Interact with me, ask me questions. I probably won't catch all of them because I'm not good at that unless I have a helper with me, but I will try my best. I'll look up once in a while. And if you comment, if you leave a comment in the live, you can get entered into the prize drawing that we'll do at the end. And if you, oh, extended to July. Thank you so much, Jan. See, that's why I have a live, so that you guys can help me out with what I'm sharing. That taxes, by the way, July. That's what she was mentioning. Yes. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yes, commenting. So if you share this broadcast, if you share the video even afterwards, comment that you shared, because that gets you in too. So just leave a comment of some sort, just to check in and say hello, and also to get a chance at a prize. I do have winners drawn from last week's Monster Card broadcast, one from YouTube and one from Facebook, so I'll be sharing those at the end as well, and then we'll draw, like I said, a winner from this live. So thank you all. Okay, today, what am I going to show you? I'm going to show you a cute little box. So this is a box that was shared by Julie, I think you say her name, Dimatteo. I've met her a couple times. I just feel bad because I don't always know how to say people's last names. I know how to say their first names. Anyways, Julie Dimatteo demonstrated this cute little box. This is like almost a replica of what she made on her Paper Pixie YouTube video. Anyways, I watched it and I was like, oh, I have to do one. And when I made it, I was just so excited because it opens really, really fun. She actually used a magnet to close hers, but we're just going to use all Stampin' Up! Product in the video today. But it opens like this, so you can see that it's got a diagonal lidded top to it. The thing that I didn't want to do was make her size though, so I redid the math. Surprise, surprise. I love math. You know what, let's bring you down to the computer really quick or the tabletop really quick, because I want to show you, I'm just adjusting my little TV screen in the corner there. I want to show you a couple versions that I've done of this box compared to her box. So her box is slightly larger. It measures 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 inches, and it's 1 3/8 inch high. My box, my version that I made is 2 3/8 by 2 3/8 by 1 inch high. It's slightly smaller, not too much smaller, but slightly smaller. And you can get double the amount of pieces from sheets of cardstock and designer paper. I did that because I wanted to share with my demonstrators. I always think, you know, how can demonstrators do this in a class setting or whatever? And I wanted to share with them how they could do this to be the most efficient with their supplies. So yes, you can get the lid pieces. You can get 3 boxes out of one sheet of 12 by 12. And then the inside piece, I'll open this one up so you can see it. You can get the inside base piece, this here, 4 of those out of one 8.5 by 11 sheet. So I'm going to show you my measurements, and then I also will have a link. In fact, I have the link there now, a link to Julie's video in my description that I've posted. So that's her box. These are the ones that I shared with my team about a month and a half ago in our team online event. And they each were able to play around with supplies they had to see if they could make it. This is the inside of this one here. They're just so cute, aren't they? So this one, by the way, okay, so she mentioned that you can fit those Ferrero Rocher chocolates in these. Perfect, right? I'm a Dove chocolate eater though. And you can fit 8 Dove chocolates in these. So they're still a great size. Let's set those off to the side. Let's go to the computer really quick. Oops, make sure I have the right screen up here. And there we go. Okay, so these are the supplies that you'll need if you want to replicate the box that I'm going to do. You may have noticed already on my desktop when I was sharing those boxes that I have the Birthday Bonanza Designer Paper out. I'm going to show you that paper, and that's what we're going to work with today, Birthday Bonanza Paper. Here are the measurements with the scoring. We're going to pair that up with basic black cardstock. I love my black and white cardstock. Really, I mean, if you have like 10 packs of those, you're good for a year, I think. I don't know. And then the black glittered organdy ribbon. The stamp set is not going to be the one that coordinates with the paper though, because we're just going to use the images in the paper to do our box. Thanks, Kendra. And then we're going to use the Itty Bitty Greetings stamp set, which is a must-have in my mind. I really think that this stamp set is a staple item. Everyone should own it. It's got beautiful, awesome small greetings ready to go and accent any card or project. So yeah, I want to introduce that to you if you have not seen that before. And then we're going to emboss. We're going to do some heat embossing today. So yay, thank you all for sharing. I'm seeing these comments. Shared, good morning, this is awesome. Thanks. Hi, Paula. Hi, Robin. Nice to see your names pop up again. Okay, so let's go to the desktop again and let's begin. Let's bring out the trimmer. We are going to cut into this beautiful designer paper. Let me just scoot my little, there we go. Oops, boy. There we go. The cameras are a little touchy today. This is the designer paper that we're going to use, and you can see that there's candles, there's confetti, there's stripes, there's these fun little pom-pommy, explosion-y looking things, or whatever, maybe asterisks, whatever you want to call them. Balloons, there's this little confetti look here, and on the other side is a little bolder image. It's the images are more like images that you could do like on the front of a card or something, right? There's scenes and stuff. Well, in this one we have gifts that are stacked. On this one we have a bunch of these cute little birds, these toucan birds. We've got some koalas. You can see I've already punched through some of my paper there. Here's kind of a little miniature version of most of the main images. We've got ice cream cones, and then we've got these adorable lions. So let's start cutting. Let's take our, sorry, just grabbing it off to the side here. We're going to take that, where did it go? Here it is, balloons. We're going to grab the balloon paper, and the measurements for this, as I had mentioned, was we're going to get 2 pieces, and here I'm just going to grab this designer paper here just so that you kind of have a feel for it. We're going to grab and we're going to cut 2 pieces of designer paper that measure Where'd they go? These are 5 3/4 by 3 3/8. And if you look at a full sheet of 12 by 12, you can get 3 boxes out of one sheet. Now with Julie's measurements, it's again a bigger box. So if you need a bigger box, you can only get 3 of these pieces from one sheet. So that would be 1.5 boxes. Okay. So yeah, if you're gonna make a bunch, save on some paper, right? So let's go ahead and cut those balloons. And you can really cut in either direction. It really doesn't matter. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this way. And let's grab those measurements again. It is 3 3/8 in this way, this direction. So I'm gonna zoom in a tad so you can see my paper trimmer. So I've got my paper trimmer set here at 3 3/8, which is this mark here. 2 little notches before the 3.5 inch mark, okay? And we're just gonna go ahead and use our dark blade and slice, and then we'll turn it this way and we'll measure at 5 3/4 inches. So we've got one here. How many of you are doing more crafting now that you're at home? I know I am. All right, 5 3/4 by 3 3/8. Okay, so we're using 1/8 inch measurements. In fact, hang in there because we're going to be using some 1/16 inch measurements as well. Okay, all right, so those are those pieces. We'll set this off to the side. Again, you can get 2 more boxes out of that sheet. And now we're going to grab our matching cardstock. And our cardstock, we're going to cut from our 8.5 by 11 basic black. Boy, that basic black and whisper white, they really just make the camera just go, whoa. We're gonna cut this at 4 1/4 inches. So here's the 4 inch mark, here's the 1/4 inch mark, 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So that will be the piece that goes on the inside of the box. Okay, and if you look at this, you could get 3 more out of that. So 4 from one sheet of 8.5 by 11. As opposed to, again with Julie's box, if you want the bigger box, great, but you can only get 2 out of one, oops, there we go, 2 out of one 8.5 by 11 on that. Okay, we're gonna save that black because we'll need our scraps. In fact, let's go ahead and just punch those right now, okay? So you're gonna need a starburst piece. And we're also going to need from our designer paper a little toucan. And I think I'm going to cut it from, I have some scraps here. I think I can get it from this guy here. We're going to punch him with our 2-inch circle punch. Oh, thank you, Susie. She just commented on another project that I'd shared. Now look at the way I'm punching this, by the way. I'm going to zoom in again. You can see I'm not really getting the image the way that maybe some of us would normally punch, right? But I want to have my sentiment going across and I need some space for that. I also want to have a hint of balloon here. So there is our fun little shape that's going to go on the front of that. Okay, that's where that's going to go. And now we can set those punches to the side. All right, this is my pile up area right behind me, right? So we're going to set that right back there. We're going to save this black strip because that's going to be where we emboss. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do some more measuring or some scoring now, I should say. So you've got these 2 pieces and they have direction to them. So what we want to keep in mind is when we're doing this box lid, we need to have our paper work out so that our direction of our design, you can see how the poppies are going up on both of these pieces. We need to have that so that that will work out for both of our pieces. So we're going to do a score line that is parallel to the longest edge of our designer paper. So we're going to do a score line at the bottom of this one, but at the top of that one. Okay, it'll be kind of opposite on each piece. So our score lines, as you saw on the measurements that I shared at the beginning, it's going to be in 1 inch from one side. So we're doing at the base of the balloon image on this one. And then you're going to turn it so that it's, you know, this direction. So we're scoring parallel to the short side now. And we're going to go in to 2 and... I always have to look, I'm sorry, but there's a lot of dimensions in this. This one's going to be 2 3/8. So here's our 2 inch and then 3/8. You'll do that on each, inward on each end. So 2 3/8, flip it around, 2 3/8. Okay, so what you've got here is a score line at the bottom there, and then you've got a score line here, and a score line here. And this is going to become one of the covers. We're going to be folding it in like this. This is going to be going down. So that's how that's going to work. Can you kind of picture that? Okay, so there's that piece. Now this one we want to do opposite. So our long score line going parallel to the long edge is going to be at the top instead. So we'll bring it in this way, and we'll do our 1 inch score line here. And then 2 3/8 and 2 3/8, like that. So this piece, if we fold along those so you can see them, will be on this direction, okay? All right, so let's give you a better visual of that right now. Now, if you have a designer paper where, like here, on this one here, you know, these designs here, it doesn't really matter. There's no up or down. So if you wanted to, you could totally, you know, not worry about if your score line's going on the opposite side or not. But on these, we do need to think about that. So let's go ahead and keep working with these pieces now. What we want to do is we want to fold in. So here's one of our squares right there, and here's the other square, but we need to make them diagonal. So we're actually going to fold this flap inward like this. It's going to be a little bit hard to see in the video because it's such a wild paper, but I had to share this paper with you guys. It's so fun. Great for birthdays, retirement, even graduation, anything that's celebrating. So we're going to just fold this in by hand like this. And just, you know, designer paper has a little bit of stiffness to it, so you kind of have to play around with it and get it to work here. And I'm using the sides, the score lines that I've already got in the paper to make sure that that's set into that groove there. It does not have to be perfect, like exactly, but at least close enough, okay? So we've just scored that, or pressed that score line with our bone folder to make sure it's nice and creased. We're gonna do the same thing to this side. So folding that inward, like this. And because this area here is square, this should all meet up. If you do not have things meeting up to those edges, you know, you don't have that perfect diagonal score line in there, it could be that your measurements are slightly off. So you'll want to maybe recheck your measurements. But see how that fits perfectly into that little pocket now, okay? So those two pieces are folded in. Let's do the same to this side. There they are. So it helps to give it a good crease before you actually start folding those diagonals in so you know where you're going up to. Bring it back just a little bit. Okay. So what is this? The scallop circle punch. It's in the current catalog. Yeah, you know what? I called it a scallop. I'm sorry. It's called the Starburst punch. Sorry about that, Nancy. It's the Starburst punch, and it layers really well with the 2-inch circle punch. I think I might have gotten that in a little too far. Let's just go back just a tad here. There. Okay, and then this one here. Yeah, it's called the Starburst. Because it's not really a scallop, it actually goes the opposite direction, the little scoopy things. I'll show it to you. It's more like a medallion. Oops, there we go. It's more like a medallion looking design. And the 2-inch circle punch fits right in there really well. Okay? The bone folder is a great tool. Yes, Kelly. All right, so we've got all those pieces in there. Now we bring in our, yay, the multi-purpose liquid glue. So we're gonna go ahead and adhere. Adhere, is that a word? I use it. I don't know. Some people have told me they've never heard that word before, but adhere. When you're gonna adhere something, you stick it down. I think it's a word. I've been using it for years and years. I'll have to look it up. Okay, so you can see we're just kind of using that bone folder to help make sure everything's flattened down as we get that glue in there. You just need a little glue. Don't have any of it ooze out. If any of it oozes out, then you've got kind of a tacky little sticky mess. You could use an adhesive eraser if you have one to remove that though, if you have issues with that. We don't currently sell the adhesive eraser. We used to. Someday I hope it comes back. All right, so there's that. We've got our glue down. Now we're gonna, I love how fast this dries too. It's pretty fast. Now we're gonna go ahead and do some snipping on these pieces. And then you'll really be able to see how the lid takes shape. So we're gonna grab our paper snips and we're gonna cut into this line and this line, okay? I'll just fold it over. I think it's easier to see on this side. So we're gonna cut right here on that score line, and we're gonna cut right here. You're gonna do that to both pieces, and then you're gonna kind of like give it a little bit of an angle here because it's gonna be easier to get this tab to stick in there if you don't have it trying to fit exactly. You know, just cut out a little bit on the sides of this tab. Mitering is what we sometimes call that. Angle cut, mitering. So we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Snip, snip, and do the same thing here. Okay, leave these edges here on the sides of these, you know, square. It's just the middle one where you're kind of angle cutting in. So now let's just kind of fold these little flaps together for a minute. It doesn't matter how they go right now, we're just gonna look. So you can see, oh, that's not gonna work, is it? But watch what happens. If you flip it over, it works. All right, and it works opposite side on the other side. So that's why you want to make sure that you're putting the score lines the right way. So now what we need to do is we need to figure out how to glue these flaps down. And you kind of, what you want to do is you want to look at these and say, oh, do I like this look better? Or do I like this look better? So you kind of want to pick out which side you like better. And I think I like this one. So that means that this flap is going to be the last one to stick down. Okay, this is my last one. And on this one, this is my last one. Because I don't want, and if you see this here, let's just look at this one for a minute. I don't want this to be the last one, or I'll see that opening at the top there. So I want this to be the last one so that my opening is at the bottom of my box. Is that making sense? So the way that we'll glue that is this will get glue, this tab will get glue. So the one that we're going to have go down last is going to get some glue, and so is the tab. So let's just go ahead and flip this down onto our desktop, and I'm just going to put my bone folder over those so that we know that we're going to glue those areas. And on this piece here, this was the last one to stick down, right? So that will get glue, and so will this tab. And if we go like this, look at that. So do you notice that? Awesome, right? We're going to glue down this and this, this and this, and they're both, I mean, it makes for mass production a lot easier if you can see that there's a pattern there. They're all kind of aiming the same direction, aren't they? So we'll go ahead and glue those. This piece, of course, will go onto this one, and then this piece will go onto that one. And you just hold it firm. Let it dry for a minute. So, oh, thanks, Linda. Good to see you. I hope that you're not going to have internet issues. I know the last couple of videos I've seen your comments and you're having internet issues. Sorry about that. I just keep going now. I know sometimes people say, I can't hear you, or it's having issues, but then I find out after reading comments that it's basically, you know, someone's issue on their end, and I just keep going. Oh well, but hopefully the replay will work, right? So, all right, so now that we've held that down for a while, this is the bottom where the flaps came together, right? So we're just gonna flip it over. This is our top piece. We'll set that off to the side. And now let's go ahead and glue this piece and this piece. This will connect here, and this will connect here, and we're gonna hold it. Just give it a hold for a while. We're gonna bring in our trimmer, and we're gonna do the base. I made a very, very simple embellishment for the top of the box. We're not doing something elaborate like we did the other one, but it will involve some embossing, some heat embossing. So be ready for that if you've never done that before. It's so magical. I love heat embossing. Okay, now that that is dry, there's the opening, right? Not the opening, but the place where you can see the seam. So that's on the bottom. And again, this is the bottom of that one, and that's how they come together. Fun, right? Ta-da! We're gonna move that off to the side. We're gonna grab our basic black cardstock. And now, when we score, we're gonna work with 16th inches. Or you can say to yourselves, just under. And Connie wants to know why I didn't use tear and tape. I think it's because there's a little bit more give with, waiting for the glue to dry. So I do prefer this once in a while. I like using the glue. It's quicker also on a video, but yeah, you can quickly glue and then you can kind of, move it back and forth and get it in the right space or right place before you actually need to hold it still for a while it dries, but it does dry pretty quickly. So I do like my glue. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and give it score lines. And if you look at the trimmer here, here's the 1 inch on this side of the trimmer. We're gonna go back one little spot on our imperial measurements, our inch measurements, okay? So we're just gonna start at the inch and then pull it back one spot, and that is 15/16 of an inch. All right, there we go. 15/16. You're gonna do that on all 4 sides. And then we're going to imagine the base of our piece here like a person. So we're gonna have arms up on top and legs down on the bottom. That's how I describe my little cuts that I do. So we're gonna cut into this score. We're gonna cut into this score. We're gonna flip it all the way around so that the cuts are now at the top. We're gonna cut into this one, and we're gonna cut into this one. No more cutting. Well, just a little bit of mitering, but here's our legs, here's our hands. Legs and hands. I don't know, it's just how I visualize it. Now we're gonna go ahead and cut a little bit in on these tabs to kind of miter or angle cut them. So you can see we're just cutting a little bit out of there. It just allows for when you're gonna glue them together to make it a bit easier. So we'll do that here, 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 and here. All right, now we're gonna crease with our bone folder on all 4 sides, just to make sure that everything is nice and crisp. And then we'll flip it back this way so it's upside down again. And we're gonna put glue here, 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 and here. So we'll grab our multi-purpose liquid glue. And we'll just put, we'll just do 2 tabs at a time because I don't want this to dry too quickly. But you're just gonna go like this and connect them. So you're bringing the tab in and you're bringing that, that side up to it and you're connecting it here. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Bring the tab in and connect. You can see our box base coming together pretty easily, right? It does give us wiggle room. You're right, Catherine. All right, so then we'll put some glue here and some glue here. And we're gonna flip this flap out of the way because otherwise when we bring in these tabs, we might have a glue mess. So we're gonna bring those down and then we can connect just like this and hold it nice and steady. You're making sure that this edge is lined up with that crease line. And I did a little adjusting. I don't know if you guys caught that, but this one wasn't quite there. It was pushed in further. So because of the glue, I was able to kind of pull it back out before it started bonding. Okay, so there's the base of our box. And it's, instead of an inch tall, it's 15/16 because this was an inch. And you have to have some room in there for that box to fit. If this is an inch and this is an inch, it might be slightly off and then you have like a box that doesn't shut. So that's why I made that little difference there. Okay, so then let's bring in these guys here and let's just stick this on. I think I mentioned snail, but it's not a necessary adhesive if you're if you're crafting for the first time, you're trying to figure out what to buy, you could totally use this glue instead, but this is nice and quick, so I just use that on our piece. And yeah, you can hear the sounds of the house behind me, can't you? All right, now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do our sentiment piece. So what we've got here is the Versamark ink pad, and we've got our stamp set. So we're gonna bring in just a block. I wrote clear block because really these stamps are so small, you could use any size block. C and D are my favorites because they kind of fit most of the images. These are the images that are in this double boxed set of cling mount stamps. You could make this a birthday, you could make it graduation, you could make it, there's a retirement one in here somewhere where I used on my last, oh there it is, on my last one. Sending prayers, if you want to send some prayers with some chocolates. So yes, and how would you give these? You could mail them in a little bubble wrap mailer, or you could put them on somebody's doorstep, or if you're still working outside the house, you could put it on someone's desk. Maybe put it on their desk with rubber gloves and then walk away. No, I don't know what the rules are at each location, but yeah, I think what we're gonna do is we're going to do happy birthday. So it's in this box here. Just open that up and we'll grab our happy birthday one, which we have to kind of read backwards. I didn't put the stickers on all of mine. There we go. So that's ready to go. You just cling it to your block, right? And then we're gonna ink it up with Versamark. Now Versamark is a clear, sticky ink. You can see the shine on the rubber stamp. My Versamark is a little bit dirtier than what it looks like when it comes. It's like totally fresh and white, but this is not bad. It actually collects dust pretty quickly. So if your Versamark pad starts to get a little dirty looking, it's still good. It still works, okay? So you go ahead and ink it up. We've got some sticky ink on there. The sticky ink takes a while to dry. So we're gonna stamp it down onto our black cardstock, and I'm gonna show you really quickly before I put the powder on what that looks like. So hopefully you can see that. There we go, it's kind of in there. There's our happy birthday image. So we're gonna take our white powder, and it does not come in this cute little Tupperware container, by the way. I like to transfer mine to a larger container so that I can just kind of go like this and tap it back into the container. Makes for a slightly less messy job, because you guys know me, I don't like getting messy. All right, so there's our happy birthday. You can see how it shows up with the powder. I'm just gonna do this one area one more time just to make sure it's nice and white. Okay, so now we'll move this off to the side. You wanna make sure that your powder is not close by when you're gonna grab your heat tool. And a heat tool has higher heat than a hairdryer. People a long time ago used to use toasters. So, or, you know, like a heat over a stove. Don't do that. It's not, that's scary. Just go get a heat tool. But it has an on-off button, and ours does have a low and a high. I usually just put it on high. What you want to be doing, because once I turn this on, it's going to be loud, but what you want to do is you want to kind of wiggle it back and forth so it's not aiming in one spot for too long. You can also go underneath your paper. You don't want to have the heat, the air of heat coming right at your fingers. So hold it far away. That's why I've got a long strip here, and just kind of go like this. Aim it angled away from you, and make sure you have good lighting, because if you overheat, then you don't have an embossed image anymore. It's not glossy, it's not pretty, it's flat and looks sad. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on. You probably won't be able to see the transformation on the camera, but if you want to see really quickly, it's powdery. I probably should have like a paintbrush and get those little flecks out of there, but I'm not that picky. But yes, there is that image, and now we're gonna make it kind of a glossy white. I'm doing it off to the side for a minute because you kind of want to get it to its highest heat. Here we go. And then always have trouble turning it off with one hand. There we go. We have it finished. And you can kind of see the glossiness now. Hopefully you can see kind of a shine, maybe not. But I know it's a small image to teach heat embossing with, but that's how you do that. We're going to now, after it's dried just a little bit, you don't want it to still be really hot. Yep, nice and dry. And it's got a raised feel to it. That's what heat embossing does. It gives you a raised glossy look. We're gonna go ahead and punch, and we're punching it so it's slightly off to one side because we want this piece to be in the center of a smaller punched piece, okay? Candle with a flame. Yes, that's scary. I love it. You guys are sharing what you do with heat embossing or what you used to do. Is there any other stamp that you, is there any way to stamp if you don't have the Versamark and heat tool? Okay, yes. So basically, Claudette, thanks for asking that question. So if you don't have, well, the heat tool I think would be important. But for Versamark, you could use any other kind of ink that would stay wet. So like a pigment ink, we used to call them craft inks. Well, we do have a white craft ink that you could use, but a pigment ink or a craft ink, you can, I mean, there's all ways to do heat embossing. It's crazy. Some people take and ink up their stamp with a Versamark, then they stamp it in a colored ink, and then they stamp it down, and then they have a colored embossed, and yeah, there's all kinds of fun things you can do. But if you heat emboss onto a coated cardstock, the ink doesn't dry as quickly. So you could use a classic ink like our regular inks on a glossy cardstock or a vellum. Okay, after we've punched this, we're gonna go ahead and insert it into our punch this way. I'm just kind of feeling, there we go. So I'm pushing it in here. I suppose I could have come in from the outside too and brought it in. So we're pushing it in there, and we kind of want it to be centered looking. So you see what I'm doing there? I'm inserting it back into the punch to make it a little bit shorter and just kind of clipping that end. This will get mounted onto our circle, and we're just going to use a couple half dimensionals here. So I'm just going to cut into my dimensionals and grab that one and put half of it on one side, half of it on the other, take off the backings. And you know what, I think I'll put this on last because I want to make sure that this gets centered onto our box really well. So let's do this one last, okay? Sorry, went too far ahead there. So let's put our chocolates, where are they? I do have them somewhere. Oh, they're in the finished one. Okay, so pretend I have chocolates in here. And we're gonna close that one on top of it. Make sure that our bottom, yep, there's our little openings that we had, our flaws, our seams, that's what it is. We're gonna grab our ribbon, and it's about 19 inches of ribbon. 18 probably would do too. And we're just gonna go ahead and tie a bow. By tying a bow, if the person who receives the gift does undo the bow, they can retie it. If you do a knot, they might clip it, right? And you want them to be able to keep their box closed again. So I'm just gonna tie a bow, but you can, because there's a little bit of give in this box when you slip the ribbon off and on, you can actually just take the ribbon off and take it on without having to do the actual, untying of it. So there's that. This is going to go on top here. You'll notice my balloons are going this direction, so I want to make sure that my toucan is going in the right direction as well, right? We don't want him to be upside down. And we need our, we want to either put dimensionals here on this upper portion or dimensionals here to add this to the top. We don't want to put adhesive across the whole back of it, or we won't be able to open up our box. So if you kind of eyeball where that guy is going to go, you can see, oh, I've got to put a dimensional here, maybe one right here, and possibly one right there. Okay, that should hold it down. So now we can take these release paper pieces off, we center it, and we stick them down, and now we can take our happy birthday and stick this right across there. Gosh, where do we want to put it? Maybe we'll just stick it right here, like that. Happy birthday. Now it's parallel to the bottom edge and the top edge of our box. And here's another version. Isn't he cute? He's so cute. This one says, enjoy your retirement. And you can see what I did is I put in here Dove chocolates. It fits 8. They're double stacked. They fit perfectly, you guys. It's crazy. My favorite chocolate. So there you go. You can see how this can just kind of sit right back on top of it, because you can kind of smush the top of the box in a little bit. There's a little bit of give. All right. So there's our little guys. They're so cute. And this one will sit flatter once it has something inside, but right now it's kind of, you know, it needs something. I hope you enjoyed that. All right, so glitter all over the place from this beautiful ribbon. All right, so that's how you can make some quick little cute little gift boxes. You would not need to do the embossing if you don't want to. You could instead take, you know, maybe the yellow cardstock that matches this, and you could stamp in black ink. So if you want to stay away from the embossing, you can certainly do that. But I just kind of wanted to bring in the idea of embossing to any of you who have never done that before. Plus, I really love the look of that white ink on top of black paper. I think it looks so stunning. So fun boxes for birthdays, retirements, graduation. Again, just set it at somebody's door, or, you know, I don't know, send it through the mail or something. But we need love right now, right? So send chocolate to people. All right, prizes from last week. So last week when we did the monster card from the March Paper Pumpkin Kit, we drew for these prizes here. The Memories and More Magnolia Lane card packs. These are fun cards that have like little packs that have 3x4 inch designs, 6x4 inch design cards. There's some stickers in there. There's some fun things inside these boxes. You can do pocket pages, pocket scrapbook pages with them, but you can also make lots of cards with them because we have coordinating bases that you can put them on. And I did show, so you'll want to catch that last video if you didn't catch it yet, but I did show how to make a monster using pieces from this box of cards rather than just working on that Paper Pumpkin Kit, in case some of you don't get Paper Pumpkin, because I know it's not a global product, right? So there we go. So those are the prizes, and we have winners. I don't think I printed them off. I think I have them just on my screen somewhere. So let me do a quick check on my computer. I did. I just put them on my, I forgot to print them. That's okay. I will share my screen with you because you'll want to see what people said anyways. It's fun to see. Okay. Oops. Take that away, put that on. Okay, there we go. There we go. So our winners from the YouTube video, people commenting on YouTube, Tiffany Anderson, congratulations to you. Tiffany, I see your comments all the time, so thank you so much for supporting me and watching my videos and sharing. Anyways, thanks Tiffany. And Nicole Herrick, yes, I'm so excited for you too. Nicole was the winner from the Facebook broadcast that we did last week, and she commented either during the broadcast or after. You have like a whole week to get in on that, right? So now we are going to do a live drawing. And what is the prize this time, Rachel? Let's bring the desk back so you can see. I've been cleaning house. I have so many prizes that, okay, I used to do in-home events all the time. I'm just gonna bring this whole stack in-home events all the time, and people would, you know, come and pick up their orders. I'd let them pick from my box, or if they had something, you know, that they did where they got to, I don't know. I just gave lots of reasons to pick from my little basket. I have this huge basket, and inside there right now I have collecting so many spots because I don't have live events much anymore, right? So I have all this stuff that is still collecting, these little prize things. I already have all these colors, but but I have duplicates, I have triplicates, I have like 5 of some of these. I have 6 of one of these colors. So it's crazy. I have my little post-it notes here where I wrote in my sloppy writing. So here's the deal. These spots are so awesome. They travel well. You can use them with the the Stamparatus because you don't have to worry about using those big pads and getting them all over the plastic. Okay, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Anyways, They're awesome to use when you just want to ink up a little small area, or if you're going to travel and stamp somewhere. They come in the paper pumpkin kits, which is why I keep collecting them. This is the ink size that has been sent in all of our paper pumpkin boxes since day one. So yeah, you get this cute little ink pad. All of these are sealed. I would not be sending them to you if they weren't sealed. And I'm going to let winners pick 6 colors each. So today, the person who I draw for winning gets to pick 6 of these colors, and you can see them all there up on the screen. So yes, and what I'll tell you, if I pick your name, I'll just say zoom in and pick a color, because I don't have them typed out. So anyways, and I do have more than one of most of these, so but these are all the separate colors. Yes, some of them are retired. So there's like River Rock in there, Summer Starfruit, there's Dapper Denim, there's Midnight Muse. There's some fun colors that have been gone. I love it. Some of you are saying, pick me, pick me. All right, so you get to have 6 of the colors, and I'll send them to you. And then next week we will draw, I'll draw some names from the YouTube, which I'll post this Saturday, and from this Facebook once again. So keep on commenting. Even if I don't draw your name today, I might draw your name next week. But we'll have 3 winners, so I'll give away 18 of these spots. I have so many, so I hope you can use them. All right, let's see, what are we gonna do? We're gonna go to the computer now and set that up so that we can, all right, here we go. All right, we're on my Stamp Your Art Out with Rachel page. We're gonna click on videos, and once I click on the link to the video, that's it. All right, you're in for the live drawing once I click on the link for it. So here we go. The small diagonal lidded gift box. This is the live one that we have going on right now. And we'll just go ahead and copy the link to that. And we're gonna bring that into our comment picker. Put that link in here. I love this prize. I have too many of these, and I'm feeling like I'm a hoarder. 180 of you are commenting during this live. Thank you so much for commenting. We're going to click start button, and who is our winner going to be? Our winner for the live is going to be Irene Herrera Shan. I think that's how you say your name. Irene, I've seen you comment so many times too, so congratulations. Yes, so fun. All right, congrats to you. And I think that's all that I needed to show you on my table. Go ahead, Irene, and message me. And the 2 other winners from last week's video, make sure that you message me. I need you to message me within 2 weeks, please. Otherwise, I have to pass the prize along to somebody else, okay? Next week, I will be live on Earth Day, April 22nd. Again, that's the day that Stampin' Up! Is going to share the retiring list of products. So make sure that you are checking in on my Facebook page. I will share them here for sure. I'll try to get a newsletter out by the end of that evening. And I'm even thinking I might do a live in my Stamp Your Art Out with Rachel group. So just, put that in the Facebook search bar, Stamp Your Art Out with Rachel group, and join in. That's where I would do a live if I'm going to do one, sharing the retiring products list and some visuals of those products, okay? So I think that's it. I hope you all had a great day. If you need any of the products that I shared today, you can go to stampyourartout.com and click the shop button. If you are a demonstrator, buy from yourself. If you have a demonstrator, buy from them, support them. I love sharing. I hope that you had a great time today. Thank you all for watching. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.